Okay.
I'm not signing nothing.
Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how
I know
it
you
works.
have. I know you have,
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to get me. Or you're
No,
trying
I'm not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some stupid ass confession, and you're not going to get one.
Jeff.
This is Jeff Pearson. You might be thinking that if he is that of genius, how did he ended up in this situation? It all started on a regular evening in 2011 in Georgia. Alarm bells began to sound itself in a local 7-Eleven. Reports of an armed robbery began flooding into the local police department, but upon arrival at the scene, the suspect was nowhere to be seen. After expanding the search, that's when it's assumed police heard commotion in a house nearby, and without any other leads, they stormed in, discovering a known heroin addict sitting inside with a gun. Without any other evidence, they arrested the man and brought him to be interviewed. This so-called addict was Jeff Pearson. This was one of the only times when a man single-handedly beat the cops at their own game and all that, while experiencing horrific drug withdrawals. This is what happens when a suspect is smarter than a cop. This footage was originally uploaded to the suspect's own YouTube channel on the 25th of September, 2011. This is the first sign of what makes Jeff a cult figure and a legend within the interrogation community. Jeff was held in police custody for almost an entire day, but all of the footage from the 3 interrogation sessions held barely 15 minutes. Given that robbery and arrest took place within the state of Georgia, a usual minimum sentence would be around 10 years imprisonment, ranging up to a maximum of life without parole. As Jeff has been through the system multiple times over, and he knew that if indeed found guilty, his sentence will be considerably longer than the minimum 10 years due to his previous convictions. But it would transpire that Jeff wouldn't end up doing a minute of this time. The following footage shows us in stunning detail what methods the cops will try on you, and how to dodge them, like an absolute pro. The footage starts with Jeff in a small, windowless room dressed in prison scrubs. It's clear he's already been processed and spent some time in a cell, while the cops were outside finding the evidence.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything. It's okay.
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? Let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff.
Jeff immediately opens by asking if he's under arrest and on what grounds. From the first moment, it's evident that Jeff has done his research, as this is exactly what you should be doing in this situation. Here comes 2 options. If you are arrested or detained, then you are not obligated to stay and can simply leave the interrogation, whereas if you are arrested, you will ask for a lawyer and stay silent before provided one. Now take a listen to the Miranda warning that this detective reads out to Jeff.
Before we ask you any questions, you must understand what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we question you, and have him or her with you during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer and you want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you'll still have the right to stop answering questions at any time.
Most people completely glaze over it when they're being read these rights, and fail to take into account that they're actually being provided with useful information that allows you to stay safe and protected while in police custody.
Until you talk to the lawyer. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you? Does that make sense? Did you understand your rights? Did you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? You understand? So do you understand the rights I read to you?
Jeff has been explicitly told he has the right to remain silent, so that's exactly what he's deciding to do.
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
I am.
I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know, do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you motherfuckers.
Okay, fair enough.
In this first round of interrogation, Jeff exhibited exactly the correct behavior given his current circumstances. He knows the cops have nothing on him. They wouldn't be there talking to him in the first place. If they did so, he stays silent. But 2 hours later, second interrogation took place.
You gonna be able to pop it open, or you need me to?
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
Yeah, you guys can get me that methadone.
I don't have any. Do you have a medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What do you need methadone for?
Because I'm a fucking junkie and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm going to go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Jeff mentions the withdrawals that he's likely already starting to feel. However, methadone, the drug Jeff asked for at the start of this conversation, can be used to significantly reduce the effects of the withdrawal.
Where do you usually get your methadone from?
I don't get it. I get heroin.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy.
10 years? 15 years?
I hardly been alive that long. What are you trying to talk to me about here?
Talk to you about what happened last night. Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in a shitty, wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I don't
not
have
keep
nothing.
up
I
the
don't talk
act.
to the police, man.
I think it's in your best interest to.
How?
Man.
I don't talk to
you're
the
sitting
police.
Here.
In Jeff's eyes, he's been arrested for something he didn't do and wants to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how
I know
it
you
works.
have. I know you have.
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or you're
No,
trying
I'm not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not gonna get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I
And
didn't
I'm
do
not
nothing.
trying to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside, there are cops everywhere, and they spotlight me. They say, "Come here." I said, "What's up?" They search me. They ain't find
Hang on.
nothing. What's
Let
up?
me read this.
No,
Yes.
because I'm not gonna sign it.
You don't have to sign it. But let me read it for you. Okay?
I'm not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it.
It is very amusing, but even through all this, every part of what Jeff said here is so perfect. It almost sounds rehearsed. It's an incredible display of personal legal defense, and is even more impressive when you layer it with the fact that Jeff is almost definitely starting to experience withdrawals. I also want to highlight the point Jeff made about how cops are simply trying to force a confession out of him. One of the main techniques used in these interrogations.
Let me read it. You heard it earlier already. You've been through the system. You know it. It ain't going to change a thing. You're still sitting here. Warning as to your rights guaranteed by the Miranda decision of the Supreme Court of the United States.
You already read it to me earlier.
I know we did, but I'm going to read it to you again.
Thanks for the coat.
You're welcome. Before we ask any questions, you must understand what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we question you and have him or her with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand the rights I've explained to you?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. I'm warning you. Because I already told you what happened.
You didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you've asked for an
I'm a lawyer.
attorney. So, okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right now, you're still on a hold for a robbery.
I know. I don't know why I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing. And obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coat, put me back in the cell.
We
That's
haven't
my
interviewed
home.
you yet.
That's my home.
All right.
Jeff has now asked for a lawyer and is once again refusing to answer questions, but we're only halfway through this footage, and Jeff's ability to defend himself and completely destroy this cop only gets better from here.
I don't get why I don't.
Well, here's what the deal is. I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay? But, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You got to, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the physical
Well, I don't need
evidence.
to. Why should I tell you that? You haven't been helpful to me at all.
Because I don't believe that you got any evidence.
This is where the detective starts to become desperate. He knows he's running out of time. He's now instead moved on to essentially just threatening him with false claims of evidence that he can easily use to convict Jeff. If all of this was true, he'd likely be trying to use it to intimidate Jeff into panicking and giving up more information, but instead he uses a flimsy rhetoric claiming that because Jeff hasn't helped him, he won't help Jeff.
I didn't do it, so there's no...
Well, here's... I'll give you one piece of my evidence, okay?
Yeah.
One piece. The phone for 7-Eleven was taken by the suspect, whoever that was, okay? It was taken by the suspect and it was thrown in the dumpster behind 7-Eleven, okay? We got DNA off that phone. Right? That's one piece of my evidence. I have a lot of other evidence, okay?
Like what?
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name them.
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, now give me a little something. All right? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your
He perfectly remembers that if he said anything, it will be used against him.
parole officer. You helped me out.
That doesn't mean dick.
Sure it does.
Well, you're arresting me for robbery tomorrow, so what the fuck does that do?
Now the detective is desperately trying to bargain with Jeff. If he helps the cops out, they'll put in a good word with his parole officer. But Jeff immediately realizes that means absolutely nothing. This further enforces the idea that cops have absolutely nothing to convict Jeff with, and also shows that they know they're running out of time. Jeff has asked for a lawyer, yet they're still sitting there questioning him as if that's not a blatant violation of the rights that they have read to Jeff on 3 separate occasions. They know that if they don't get anything out of him soon, their time will run out, and Jeff is watching the clock closely for the next 4 minutes of the interrogation. Jeff continues to deny and combat anything the police say to him. They bring up the gun that he was found with, continue to try and strike a deal, and even try to scare him by taunting him with what being back in prison would be like. But throughout all of this, Jeff stays totally stone-faced. He knows he's almost won.
I mean, you halfway know the system, how things work, and you halfway don't. Am I right?
I half-ass know
Yeah.
that the only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Okay.
And I got it, but now I want a Butterfinger.
But that's not going to happen for a while.
What, the Butterfinger?
Yeah.
Why not? I need to go to the hospital. I'm coughing up blood.
Okay.
Let's go to the hospital.
For the last few hours, the police have been questioning a man who is clearly in pain, denying him access to the legal prescription drug that would help him deal with his issues, and questioning him repeatedly on a crime for which they had no evidence for. All the while, Jeff dealt with this as casually as possible, asking for sodas and chocolate bars. Jeff knew missed speaking at any point could lead him down a slippery slope, so he exerted his rights in the perfect way, and 12 hours later, it's recorded that he was released from custody. It's also reported that from here, Jeff began to turn his life around. He's off heroin and now spends his time uploading to the same YouTube channel the footage from this video. He makes music and even gives extra tips on how to avoid the police's tricks. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.
Things do.
Butterfinger, you promise.
I didn't promise you that. I said we'd see what happens. All right? Like I said, you haven't helped me out at all. Why should I help you out?